Bringing flowers to you.
लड़कियां यही बोल बोल के थक चुकी हैं. सोचा
फूल आ सकता है.
फूल की बात ही नहीं है.
Effort. Splitting the bill.
कोई भी पैसा दे फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
As long as पैसा हो.
दिल्ली हाँ.
A good man is an average woman.
Wow.
I've received flowers from only one woman in my life, and I'm madly in love with her right now.
क्या
Yeah, it does
बात
everything.
मैं तुम बहुत प्यारे आदमी हो.
मैं हूँ.
नरमी की भी एक जर्नी होती
पैदा नरम सब होते हैं, कठोर बनते जाते हैं.
When women feel a lack of intimacy, they get extremely sad. Men get extremely angry.
या उसने मुझे छोड़ दिया because he has a bigger car. No, maybe he's a nicer person.
दर एक लाइन होती है. लाइन की इस तरफ तुम क्रीप हो, लाइन की इस तरफ तुम फट्टू हो. तो मैं फट्टू रहना चाहूंगा.
Line होता है सवाल पूछ लो यार.
जिनसे आपको प्यार चाहिए उनकी नहीं सुन रहे हो कि कैसे चाहिए.
है. We have solved modern dating. हो गया खत्म.
आपके लिए प्यार क्या है?
मेरे लिए प्यार है
प्यार जिंदगी है.
समझना.
एक्सेप्टेंस.
खुद को खो के सब कुछ पाना प्यार है.
प्यार क्या है? अभी बताता हूँ. Hi everyone, welcome to the Men in Pyar Yuva Roundtable with your host Nikhil Taneja and the very good folks at Bumble. कुछ कुछ होता है में शाहरुख खान ने कहा था, हम एक बार जीते हैं एक बार मरते हैं. शादी भी एक ही बार होती है और प्यार वो भी एक ही बार होता है. द इशू इज कुछ कुछ होता है में भी राहुल ने 2 बार प्यार किया था. बट आई डू फील थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग. Somehow it looks like we are at a place where more and more people are seeking pyar. That's why I'm so excited about the round table that we've assembled today, because we have got 4 of the pookiest men in the film and entertainment industry who are here to talk about all things ishq, wishk, pyar, vyar, and everything that comes along with it. And to begin, instead of me introducing our lovely guest today, how about we do something fun and ask them to introduce themselves, but as if they were writing their Bumble bio.
We are all looking at Varun.
yeah.
My bio said, "Hi, my name is Varun. I'm a funny guy, and that's about it." हंसा सकता हूँ.
हाँ तो
And
तुम्हारा
then of course a picture of you looking at that.
फिर 100%.
I mean, how?
100%.
फोटो डाल दिया,
Yeah.
नीचे फनी लिख दिया.
Exactly.
हो गया.
I am
कुछ तो
अमूल पराशर, मुझसे नहीं होगा.
मुझे जानने के लिए आपको मुझसे बात करनी पड़ेगी बहुत सालों तक.
ये भी अच्छा बायो है.
हाँ,
Yeah.
ये भी अच्छा.
और
अच्छा
क्या?
हाँ, ये सालों
अच्छा
तक बोल
है.
के एटलीस्ट एक कमिटमेंट वाला भी दिया ना कि
Absolutely.
he is willing, he is open to a सालों तक वाला.
क्या?
Ever in the future I have to use one.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Credit भी दूंगा.
Please.
I've actually tried quite a few of the apps.
Successfully, I hope.
I mean, well, what do you measure?
Define
How do you
success.
define success?
Yeah, I think
Success मतलब मेरी शादी अब तक हुई नहीं है तो क्या success? मतलब अगर that is metric.
Sure.
The most interesting for me thing for me is that you get an opportunity to meet somebody from an entirely unconnected world. Sometimes that can be scary but also fascinating. So वो है. बायो की बात पता नहीं मैंने सारे ट्राई कर लिए थे शायद. Try to be funny, try to be cool, try to have a deep quote about, to reflect your, your ambition or whatever your sense of life is, well lived when you cherish every moment. But the most recent one was trying to be silly, I think.
Which one has been the one that has gotten the most connections?
I don't think anybody reads anything. I think they're just looking at photographs.
Very fair.
Please subscribe.
Like, share.
Hit the bell icon. Tang.
What would my bio be? I'm Ritvik Bhaumik and I've grown up on 90s movies and I'm a huge Shah Rukh Khan fan. तो अगर प्यार का मतलब आपके लिए वो है तो जरूर यहाँ आइए.
वाह, क्या बात है. वाह वाह वाह.
It feels so formal, bro. It's like it's not a reflection of any personality also.
But शाहरुख खान डाल दिया तो फिर.
हाँ वही.
I mean, if it works,
Yeah.
Of course it's gonna work.
And if at all you have to get to know the personality, Shah Rukh Khan is a pretty good personality to.
I mean, it's a great male icon to have in your life.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Stood for the right things.
Still standing.
Yeah.
I think आज दिल की काफी बातें करनी है और दिल से भी काफी बातें करनी है.
I love that.
ये
I'm
बायो बता
sold.
सकते हो.
Come on.
That can be a bio.
Come on. But सबसे पहले I want to start off with a game. Typically, we ask these questions when it comes to how should men be with women.
Yeah.
Is it the bare minimum that women should do when it comes to dating men?
Wow.
or is this the prince treatment?
हमारा पर्दाफाश हो रहा है.
Treatment
Okay.
मतलब ये कर लिया तो बहुत बड़ी बात है।
मैं खुश हो जाऊंगा।
हाँ,
अच्छा, ठीक है,
मैं
समझ
over the
गया.
moon।
Planning a date for you. Is that? What is this? Why?
क्योंकि usually लड़के ही करते हैं।
I know, but this
हाँ,
has.
वही अगेन कि सबको करना
I have an
चाहिए,
answer,
जिसका
yeah.
मन करे कर लो।
I think it's a lovely thing. I feel
करना ही चाहिए।
करना ही चाहिए. मतलब प्लान ये कोई मतलब it's not only somebody's responsibility. But है तो अच्छी feeling.
But जब होता है तो this is the feeling.
Yeah,
जब होता है
अच्छा।
तो this is the feeling.
हाँ, मतलब इक्वल
लेकिन
तो
अच्छी
होना ही
बात
चाहिए,
है।
ऐसा नहीं कि भाई कि इंसान कर रहा है, दोनों इंसान
मतलब-
कभी ये कभी आप कभी मैं।
हाँ क्यों नहीं मतलब कुछ तो प्लान करो. एनीबडी शुड प्लान ना. कुछ तो प्लान करो यार. ऐसा नहीं कि जेंडर प्रॉब्लम है
हर
यहाँ.
बार हम लोग ही बैठे हैं कि हाँ लेके जा रहे हैं, we'll decide the dinner place, हर बार हम ही नहीं, उनको भी करना चाहिए।
Fair.
पर जब वो करते हैं तो फिर हमको ये लगता है।
And this goes beyond just dating and relationships.
भाई हाँ दोस्तों में भी होता
हर
है.
जगह पे, हर जगह. So anybody puts in any effort for you, just feel like I है कितना अच्छा.
क्या बात है.
I think the next one is far easier than this. Splitting the bill. Is it the bare minimum or is it, you know, it's street?
I'm actually my opinion on this मतलब थोड़ा modern age वाला है कि I think full basics until and unless you have been invited like let's go for a date चलो वो basic decency होती है मुझे लगता है वो पुराने जमाने का chivalry I don't disagree with it but sorry मैं थोड़ा lecture zone में
आपने वैसे ही मेरी तरफ पॉइंट करके बोल दिया है पुराने जमाने का.
नहीं. I think financial independence became such a big conversation, especially in the modern age. I think this is a healthy expression of that. Saying I'm independently capable of meeting you at the table. आगे देखते हैं.
I think that's romantic actually.
हम लाइक कोई भी पैसा दे, फर्क नहीं पड़ता। If you're on a date, if you're
As long as पैसा हो. वो important.
बिना पैसे वाली
बिना पैसे के देखिए मत भागना, दो
ये भी सही है. नारियल पानी पे जो date
दोनों
होता है
बर्तन नहीं धो रहे हैं।
पाँच के
मोमेंट है.
So it's very
spontaneous हो गया। नहीं, I'm just like it doesn't matter कि कौन पैसे दे रहा है, कौन नहीं दे रहा है। वो एक agreement, the girl shouldn't come with the expectation कि लड़का ही पैसे देगा, या I shouldn't go with the expectation कि वो ही पैसे देगी। कोई भी दे दे, next time तू दे दे, अभी मैं दे दूंगा, या फिर अभी तू दे दे, बाद में मैं दे दूंगा। It shouldn't be like a hard and fast rule कि हम लोग आधा आधा ही
But
करेंगे।
पहली date पे.
दिल्ली, हाँ।
But is there an?
नहीं पर पहली बार मेरे साथ ये हुआ हाल ही में हुआ. I went out with someone. This is several months back. And there wasn't even an offer, a first date type of thing. It wasn't even a ishara, an offer of let me. हाँ, none of that. And that little bit, I'm sorry to admit, but चुबा.
Like you anymore.
चुबा.
Offer तो कर।
हाँ, is that कि किसी ने
मैं
थोड़ा वाला नाटक
So I'll tell you. I got this.
कि वो हम इक्वालिटी की बात कर रहे हैं तो लेट्स जस्ट बी इक्वल एंड इक्वल माइट नॉट ऑलवेज मीन दैट
Yeah.
4 का 2 ही 2 कटेगा। मैं ये भी मानता हूँ
Yeah.
इक्वालिटी हमेशा वो नहीं होती है। इक्वालिटी ये भी होती है कि अगर आप 3 कमाते हो मैं 1 कमाता हूँ तो 3 एक
Yes,
इक्वालिटी
yes.
है।
Mindset की बात है।
व्हाट योर फीलिंग इज अराउंड दैट एक्सपीरियंस, राइट? इफ यू आर फीलिंग शॉर्ट चेंज तो कहीं पे कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है।
Yeah.
किसी एक को लगाया कि यार मेरा फायदा उठाया गया है या ये तो ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए था, तो कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है वहाँ पे।
Yeah.
Always comes down to the first date dynamics, right? Like after a point of time, you can establish a understanding.
I can be on the first date and I have done the most gentlemanly thing to offer to pick up and to pay and to do all of that. But I've also been in a relationship where then there's a phase कि I don't have. So and then you get cover up. Na? So I'm sure you will know exactly what this is, right? In a long-term relationship, people compensate. Na? So there's a shift sometimes.
I love that you said that because when I was my wife Daisy works at City. So when she started off her career and I started off my career, even though she's 2 years younger to me, I started off my career in Hindustan Times and I was getting 14,500 as a journalist. And she started a career with Mu Sigma, and her first salary was about 30,000-35,000. She was earning more than me for a while, and I was very happy about that because I was like, it's good that there's one person who's able to like afford things, and thank you for taking that onus. So I was like, there's one breadwinner in this family, and that's you.
There was a willingness, a generosity.
Of
Na?
course, it makes
At least
complete
both
sense.
people agreed on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
ना तो वही बात आ जाती है कि दोनों लोग agree कर रहे हैं।
Consent.
You know, okay, so I'll give you my very personal opinion on this. Like for somebody who's grown up in a middle class family, who has been taken care of by his friends and for a long time by his girlfriends also, and so on and so forth. You know, like they were always the ones paying and shopping and buying you gifts and this and that. And you didn't have the privilege to do that, but you could give as much love as you can and be there as you can, you know, as being the best person to be in that relationship for the family, for the friends, or for your partner. Once you get into a position where you can do it, where you can pay, it is a weird kind of satisfaction and validation that's no more about the partner. It's more about me. I'm paying because it's doing something for me.
100%.
I'm still just seething in the joy of the fact that I can still pay your bill. But sometimes, you know, the way they react to it says a lot about where they are coming from, what their childhood must have been like, and why they're participating in it in a certain way. Why are they saying few things? And that gives me a window into them. So the bill is actually a great icebreaker to understand each other more than just the date and the coffee you've had.
मेरे लिए डेट तो एक फ्रूटी और एक पैटी भी है करेक्ट उसको लेके बैठ जाओ
सही बात
वो भी
है।
date।
नहीं
Those
डेट
are the
तो
best dates. When you don't
बेस्ट
have the money
डेट
is the best date. And then
साथ में
some
समय
joy
बिताना।
in having the money but not wanting to spend it. कि नहीं जाना.
चलो we have solved modern dating.
चाय
हो
पी
गया
लेते
खत्म. This is a very interesting one. Is it bare minimum of Prince treatment to reply to every single part of your message?
Part of your message.
Yeah.
डिपेंड्स।
अगर तुम बकवास रील भेज रहे हो तो मतलब
सही बात है।
Fair.
अगर हर सवाल पूछा गया है तो फिर उसका जवाब मिल ही जाना चाहिए।
मैं बड़ी बकवासें भी करता हूँ तो मेरे लिए चलेगा। कुछ चीजें आप इग्नोर कर सकते हो जो मैं
It all
messages
depends on the
भेज रहा हूँ।
person. Yeah.
मतलब रील वाला तो मैं भी
नहीं पर
मान
मैं
रहा हूँ
बोल रहा हूँ
कि
अगर
रील
बकवासें भी
नहीं रील
तभी भी रिप्लाई करो
बट आई
रिप्लाई
तो प्यार है वही तो प्यार है
एक्नॉलेज नहीं
आपने reply
बोलो
करो।
छी गंदी रील है।
एक्नॉलेजमेंट चाहिए।
करो।
Acknowledgement चाहिए। हाँ।
एक्नॉलेजमेंट चाहिए।
रिप्लाई एक थम्स अप भी
मुझे एक्नॉलेजमेंट
थम्स अप डिजर्व करता है
Yeah, yeah,
मेरा सवाल। तो थम्स अप भी चलेगा।
मैं तो कह रहा हूँ मेरी सीरियस बातों पे आप ना रिप्लाई कर दो ठीक है बट आपको रील्स पे रिप्लाई करना ही पड़ेगा।
रील्स पे करना पड़ेगा।
रील्स बड़ा एफर्ट करके डाल रहे हो यार। खुद देख भी रहा हूँ एफर्ट से।
वो क्यूरेट किया हमने
है तो लव लैंग्वेज।
Love language. Exactly. I was going to say the same thing. These are a full love language. Oh, well, I like that you're unanimous on one thing. Amazing.
हमारा कॉमन फ्रेंड है नवीन कस्तूरिया। अभी वो ही विल assume 3-4 things कि आप बोल मुझसे वो तो नहीं कर रहा, वो मुझे हेट तो नहीं कर रहा, वो 15 साल 20 साल से दोस्ती है बट स्टिल उसके दिमाग में डाउट आ जाएगा कि प्यार कम तो नहीं हो गया।
I want to retain this segment and I want to do a cut down and just send it to him.
कर दिया खत्म।
But okay, cancelling plans without giving a reason.
नो रीजन हर बार चाहिए होता है
क्यों?
क्योंकि आई डिजर्व टू नो ना कि अगर मैंने आपके लिए एक 3 घंटे छोड़े हुए हैं कि हम 3 घंटे में ये करने वाले हैं तो आई कैन ऑल्सो प्लान माई ओन लाइफ इफ यू टेल मी इन एडवांस कि यार ये नहीं हो पा रहा क्योंकि ये नहीं हो पा रहा।
Fair.
तो आपके लिए इट्स अबाउट द रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ योर टाइम एंड योर एनर्जी योर एफर्ट।
Yeah, because if I do it then dead. How dare you?
क्या
do it?
पता।
क्वालिटी डिमांड कर रहा है वो,
Yeah.
क्वालिटी डिमांड।
बट मेरे साथ ये हुआ है। आई हैव बीन कंप्लीटली स्टूड अप एज इन हाफ एन आवर बिफोर। शुक्र है कि मैं डबल चेक कर रहा हूँ जहाँ पहुंचने से पहले रेस्टोरेंट।
Wow.
बट खाली है पूरा। फिर मैं उधर घर पे अकेले कोई नहीं।
Was this supposed to be a first date or
It was a
you had
first
met
date.
that person?
It was a first date. We had communicated on message. I'd made the plan, booked tickets. It was a gig. No, it was a gig. It was a gig of some kind. And yeah, to deal with that sudden emptiness. कि यार मैंने सब किया ना। मैंने बोला शिवलरी सब कुछ किया मैंने बाय द बुक बाय द रूल्स आपके एक्सपेक्टेशंस के हिसाब से
बोल रहे
सॉरी
तुम भी इतने seriously देख रहे थे. Ritwik was so serious when he was speaking.
मुझे बाय द बुक पुराना जमाना गरीब को बुलाया गया है।
आपके 10 रुपए का।
हाँ I mean it's true but why?
He spoke about that ना कि जो मतलब यार अगर मैं करता
Correct.
तो कैसे भड़क जाता कोई।
थोड़ा कम तो फील नहीं होगा
Eventually,
अगर-
later.
मेरा खालीपन का क्या हुआ।
No, it's I think very fair. I love that we have men so openly expressing that खाली feeling
दर्द
भी
हुआ।
होती है. दर्द
हाँ
होता
यार.
है हाँ. of
यार,
course,
दर्द
you
हुआ
know,
उसको.
Absolutely.
हम तो
This
बोल
is-
रहे लेफ्ट ऑन सीन पे दर्द होता है यार। मतलब
I'm actually that bit
dispassion.
dispassionate about social interaction in any way. So for me, I'm one of those weird people कि अगर कोई प्लान कैंसिल हो जाए तो मेरे immediately मुझे पता है मुझे घर पे क्या करना है।
एक
मैं खुश हो
plan
जाता हूँ कि यार
भी है।
ये रह गया था ये कर लेता हूँ। Like I really enjoy my company. I genuinely enjoy my company and the only time I really enjoy somebody else's company is when I'm in love. So dating and going on a date and going for a movie is really not going to affect me as much because I know immediately what I want to do by myself. Like I always have a plan where I want to do something by myself and I really enjoy that.
That's
So
quite healthy.
yeah.
Yeah.
हाँ ना ये तो फीलिंग्स भी यूनिक है।
नहीं और आपके पास उसको संभालने के लिए you got a confidence about it.
तो नहीं है। अगर कोई बोलता था कि
I tried.
I'm sorry हाँ ये कोई बात नहीं बाद में कर लेंगे प्लान कोई बात नहीं।
That is me. That is me. This is genuine.
ये बड़ा सही होता
Sorry,
है।
we can't make
कोई बात नहीं कोई बात नहीं।
I have a very interesting one right now.
Are you feeling like Prince treatment? हमारे
Totally
जवाबों
am,
से। और this is like,
absolutely.
is this bare minimum on our
bare
part?
minimum?
Yeah, most of the people on this table, these kind of great answers are bare minimum.
Oh,
Please,
that's
come on.
Fair.
Yeah, this is why he's holding on to a 19-year-old relationship. Guys. हम अभी भी dating की बातें कर
He
रहे
knows
हैं.
how to give credit.
ठीक है, okay. Bringing flowers to you on the first date.
So cute, yeah. It's happened.
I'm actually,
Yeah?
I
It's
love
happened.
flowers. I
Expect तो
love
नहीं कर रहा हूँ
flowers.
मैं।
हाँ, same.
Expect तो no
Expect तो नहीं.
chance.
इसलिए तो प्रिंस ट्रीटमेंट लगता है ना. Expect करते तो bare minimum हो जाता. Love, love, love. Huge fan of flowers.
Tell me more.
I've only received flowers from only one woman in my life, and I'm madly in love with her right now. So
क्या
yeah, it does
बात
everything. Flowers do everything.
Yeah. Why is this such a?
I really
No, I
think
think
it's
it's a
It's
gesture.
not about the
It's
flower.
not the flower. It's the gesture
Gesture
of
कि कुछ लेके आया आपके लिए सोचा।
हाँ,
मुझे तो लगता है कि फ्लावर्स और ये सब चीज़ों
लड़कियां
का ये है
यही
कि
हमें
हमारे
बोल
अंदर-
बोल के थक चुकी हैं। हाँ, वही तो क्या सोचा है। फूल की बात ही नहीं है।
It's
एफर्ट चल
फूल
बहुत
वूल मत
पसंद
दो, कुछ भी मतलब छोटा मोटा कि आई थॉट ऑफ यू व्हेन आई वाज वॉकिंग, ये लो पत्ता भी ले लो, बोला थैंक यू, हाउ स्वीट।
हाँ,
वो
पत्ता
वैसे,
हो,
50 का
पत्थर हो,
हाँ।
50 का नोट हो,
50 का नोट हो, 1 करोड़
जमीन
रुपए।
जमीन के कागजात हो।
रुपए मांगे सीधा।
एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा हूँ मैं, पर अगर मिल गया तो बहुत बढ़िया।
No, fair enough.
Not actively looking for Jayda.
Flowers is great, but cash
But
is
it
even
would be
better.
lovely.
Yeah,
I
money
like
is
the
even
gesture.
better. Got it. I think very clear. Okay, this is interesting. So I want to know, introducing you to her close friends. Is it bare minimum? Is it like?
और अगेन
At what stage?
एट व्हाट स्टेज है?
सबका अलग अलग होगा, बट आई थिंक मुझे लगता है एज अ कॉन्वर्सेशन ये बहुत बड़ा सवाल
आई थिंक
होगा।
ऑनेस्टली बेयर मिनिमम। अगर आप उसके साथ सोच रहे हो कि लॉन्ग लास्ट करेगा, तो दोस्तों के साथ मिलना तो बहुत नॉर्मल है। बट अगर तुम्हारा प्लान ही कैजुअल है, तो फिर भाई दोस्तों को मत बुलाओ, दे गेट टू इन्वॉल्वड एंड देन शिट हैपेंस कि तूने दोस्ती क्यों करवाई मेरी, अब मैं बात नहीं कर रहा उससे, एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट हैपेंस।
अगर तुरंत सब कुछ होता है देन इट मेक्स मी फील लाइक कि अरेंज मैरिज हो रहा है कि सबसे मिल लो, सबको मतलब सबको देखने दो।
नहीं, इट्स आल्सो आई थिंक डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट यू आर गेटिंग इंट्रोड्यूस्ड एज।
What do you like to be introduced as?
मैं कहता हूँ कि अगर ये बोल रहा है कि दूसरी बार में ले
क्या?
जाए और बोल दिया कि
बाहर नहीं
ये है वरुण।
नहीं, बट ये कौन लगता है आपका? वरुण क्या लगता है आपको भी बताना पड़ेगा।
ये सही, इतना करेक्ट
ये मेरा वरुण लगता है।
मेरा वरुण लगता है,
ये मेरा वरुण।
आपका भी वरुण लगता है।
As I was saying, I think now that we've explored what men kind of want in many ways, I'm also really interested in knowing how do men know what they want. There is a certain kind of a man we have seen in larger media, and a certain kind of understanding we've seen maybe at our own homes. कि आदमियों को सख्त होना चाहिए, right? That there has to be a certain kind of toughness, there has to be a certain kind of masculinity, and yet there is what I see on this table is men who are willing to be open, willing to be vulnerable, willing to be soft. And now there is an era of what we are calling soft boys. But what I find fascinating is that obviously this is a journey. कि नरमी की भी एक जर्नी होती है कि आप बिल्कुल you know
वन लाइनर्स निकाल रहे हो यार
Thank you,
एकदम
thank you,
नरमी
thank
की
you,
जर्नी।
thank you. Do you remember the first time you were in love? Were you like this always, or have you during the journey learned things about yourselves to being the men you are today, who are vulnerable and who are open?
नरम सब होते हैं, ये जो हमारा स्टीरियोटाइप है ना,
पैदा नरम सब होते हैं, कठोर बनते जाते हैं।
एग्जैक्टली।
जीवन कठोर बना देता है।
स्कूल में अगर आप
दुनिया
किसी breakup को
समाज
लेके रो रहे हो, आपके दोस्त बोलेंगे लड़की है क्या, रो क्या रहा है, कौन सी बड़ी बात होगी। जब उनका ब्रेकअप होता है रोते वो भी है।
बट घर पे ही ये बात सीखते हैं
घर पे बात सीखते हैं। आई थिंक सॉफ्ट सभी होते हैं। एवरीबडी फील्स अ सर्टेन वे, दे आर जस्ट टू स्कैर्ड टू टेल द वर्ल्ड कि मुझे बुरा लग रहा है या फिर मैं इमोशनल हो रहा हूँ उसको लेके। एंड प्यार में तो सभी मतलब सॉफ्ट ही होते हैं। Like I was dating a girl when I was in 12th, so I was head over heels for her. Like I learned baking for her. मैंने गिटार भी उठाया, मैंने सब कुछ करूँगा इसके लिए। But eventually when I grew older, because of all the norms कि अरे लड़की है क्या, मेकिंग क्या कर रहा है, तो आप फिर वो बोलते नहीं, I have to be a certain way in front of everybody. नहीं तो I think men know what they want. We're just scared to be that way in front of everybody.
Varun, you are also like this tall, well-built guy, right? And there's always an
मैंने तो notice ही नहीं किया।
वही तो बात है। यही तो पहली चीज notice होती है ना इसके बारे में। And of course, he has a beautiful smile, which again I think kind of tells you maybe there is some softness there. At the same time, there is a judgment that always comes with this कि आपको ऐसा ही होना चाहिए या होना पड़ेगा. How were you able to break out of that? Like I'd love to know.
I think I was very lucky कि मेरे घर में ना, my dad was in the army, तो हमेशा बाहर थे। मेरी 2 बहनें और एक मेरी मॉम है, तो मैं उनके साथ ही बड़ा हुआ। So for me, I think they kept the feminine energy alive in me. कि ठीक है तू रो रहा है तो ठीक है, तेरे को बुरा लग रहा है ठीक है, तू एग्जाम में फेल हुआ तेरे को डर लग रहा है, यू आर अलाउड टू बी स्कैर्ड।
क्या बात है।
स्कूल में चीजें अलग थी क्योंकि आर्मी स्कूल लोग मतलब वहां पर मर्द नहीं है क्या तू, मर्द नहीं मर्द हूँ, बट दैट डजंट डिफाइन, इफ आई एम क्राइंग दैट डजंट मेक मी लेस ऑफ अ मैन, एंड आई लर्न दैट वेरी अर्ली ऑन इन लाइफ, एंड आई आल्सो लर्न दैट कि मैं सबके साथ शायद वल्नरेबल नहीं होना चाहता। आई ओनली वांट टू बी वल्नरेबल इन फ्रंट ऑफ पीपल हु काइंड ऑफ अंडरस्टैंड दिस लॉजिक,
या
दैट ठीक है, इट्स ओके टू क्राई, इट्स ओके टू फील बैड, इट्स ओके टू बी मैडली इन लव विद समबडी। तुम कम बात नहीं बन जाओगे।
क्योंकि ये ना मुश्किल होता है लड़कों के लिए ना, स्पेशली व्हेन दिस पीयर प्रेशर, कि लड़के बोल रहे हैं यार तुम सब एक ही टाइप के चीज़ें कर रहे हैं और आप हो कि नहीं मुझे ना ऐसा बनना है, इट्स ओके। बिकॉज आई नो दैट सी देखो जितने भी ये जब पर्सनल बातें होती है ना, एक्चुअली आप ना तुम किसी के साथ भी 3 बजे बात करें किसी लड़के के साथ, सारे ना अपने दिल की बातें निकल जाती है और पता चलता है एवरीबडी समवेयर डीप इनसाइड इधर दारू और 3 AM, वन ऑफ द टू थिंग्स, एंड यू विल स्टार्ट रियलाइजिंग एवरीबडी इनसाइड इज सॉफ्ट।
वही वो बोला ना कि सब नर्म है,
But
सब
वही-
नर्म
but वही
है,
तो-
पैदा नर्म ही हुए, बट मुझे वो दिखा है कि लड़का अकेले में जिस तरह से बात कर रहा है, राइट, जो लेवल ऑफ मैच्योरिटी, विजडम या सेंसिटिविटी है, वो सडनली जैसे ही एक गैंग बन जाएगा, वो सेम पर्सन थोड़ा
वो तो
सा
है।
फिर उसका मजाक
उसका
बनाएंगे।
नोट बन जाएगा।
वही मैं
वरुण ने
जानना
ये बात
चाहता हूँ।
बोली ना कि टू फील लाइक somebody is actually receiving your vulnerability is the criteria ना।
I just wanted to know, when was it the first time you realized that it is okay to be like this?
I think when I went through my first breakup, I really went into a shell. मैं किसी से बात नहीं करता था, घर पे पड़े रहता था। दोस्त भी आके मतलब उनको पता है कि मैं क्यों उस स्टेट में हूँ, पर वो हंसी मजाक ही कर रहे हैं, तो मैं भी ट्राई करो पर नहीं हो रहा है, मतलब आई एम ट्राइंग टू बी इन्वॉल्व, हाँ कट गया, ऑल ऑफ दैट आई एम डूइंग, बट अंदर तो मुझे व्हेन दे लीव आई फील बैड, आई फील लोनली, एंड देन आई वाज लाइक मतलब दिस इज व्हाट आई एम फीलिंग मैन, लाइक आई कांट कैमोफ्लेज इट बिकॉज मुझे तेरे जोक को मैच करना है, फिर मुझे तेरे ह्यूमर को मैच करना है, नहीं, आई एम फीलिंग लाइक शिट, आई वांट टू फील लाइक शिट, एंड दिस इज माय फीलिंग।
Love that.
yeah.
That's amazing.
I am feeling like shit. I want to feel.
I want to feel like shit. Yeah.
This is my
As long
feeling.
as- yeah, as
None
long
of your feelings.
सही बात है यार. This is very strong.
How old were you when this happened, if I may ask?
Like 20?
Oh,
19, 20. Okay. Yeah, 10 years back.
I was so as a teenager in
आपने किया है?
school, I was a fighter boy. So very charged, very boys में मतलब लड़ाइयाँ, मतलब हाथापाई वो सब मैं बहुत करता था स्कूल में. Actually the first time I actually started to get dating or romantic posture. Then first kiss and all is happening. I've literally gone from being a fighter to a lover, then I've stopped being as confrontation.
Wow.
I remember a time where also like it was, I'm not little bit embarrassed to say it, but I wouldn't consider having a female friend
Yeah.
for the sake of it. Either I'm interested in a good-looking girl if I'm attractive, somebody who I find attractive, then I'm interested. Otherwise, I'm not interested in having a friend.
Yeah.
That is how fundamentally that has changed if I think about it now. Now I seek it out, I nurture those relationships, and I value them tremendously.
But what changed? I mean, because he said heartbreak, and maybe in my case also, see, I've only had 2 relationships.
This is my second one.
This is my second one. Right? 19 years old. I was.
How long was the first one?
The first one was about a year, and both of us in school, and big crush on each other. Started dating, etc., etc. And then, of course, she was actually moving out of the country, and that was a valid reason on her part to be like, I think we're going to be like really far
Too
apart,
far.
and it's okay. And I was obviously unable to take that. I was like, bro, ye matlab, what, that cannot be a reason for breaking up. And I mean, she's smart enough to have made that choice at that time for me as well. But it really took me a lot, genuinely, 2 साल तो मुझे proper लगे थे to deal with that rejection. And I want to talk a little bit about rejection. But I feel like in that time of rejection, where I feel like I was a little bit softer in the time when I was in love, I was actually harder in the time of rejection. And it's interesting that you have said कि मैं actually rejection में थोड़ा softer हो गया था.
नहीं हार्ड भी हुए थे, इवेंचुअली सॉफ्ट हो गए थे।
I've had a life very similar to Varun. I've grown up with my mother and my sister at home, and I've grown up in a boys' school outside. So I've experienced both the sides of where you're just absolutely like janwar-like out there in the world, and soft and nurtured at home. And at that point, I had absolutely no conscious understanding of like how can this help me in life or what it's shaping me into. But today I can say that after having spent life outside of home and school and being by myself in the society, I understand the value of both. And not just in me, but in other genders also, and so on and so forth. The understanding of both and experiencing both and then using it where it needs to be used is very important. Even the softest of boys will have moments where they will have to just step up and tell themselves more than the society or anybody else saying anything that I'm a man, I've got to just like do this. This needs to be done. And there's nothing wrong in that. There's absolutely nothing wrong in that. And I think having that conversation with yourself of toughening up also comes from a very soft spot.
Yeah.
So that is also a sign of softness.
No, I love
Towards yourself.
Nick, मेरा क्वेश्चन यही था एक्चुअली कि द फर्स्ट रिलेशनशिप बिकॉज आई फील लाइक वो काफी फंडामेंटल होता है फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ
मेरा फर्स्ट रिलेशनशिप भी हार्ट ब्रेक था और वो सामने से उसको बोला कि नहीं मुझे तो तुमसे प्यार नहीं और फिर आप देवदास बन के घूम रहे हो 2-3 साल तक कि मेरा दिल टूट गया मैं तो प्यार करता
Same.
नाउ आफ्टर विद द प्रिविलेज ऑफ द गैप of all these years I can say how much do you even know that person to say I love this person, you know, or feel like your life is over because she didn't say yes to me or she didn't like me back. But yes, it is a fact that for those 2-3 years, you know, दिल टूटा हुआ आशिक घूमता रहता है और उसको पता भी नहीं होगा शायद. And to the point where I may have even once in a while cried in front of my friends. अब वो किस्मत है मेरे हिसाब से कई बार और चॉइस है कि आप दोस्त किस तरह के बनाते हो. Is that when you express your feelings, whenever you express your feelings and they are not used or they safely अगर आप express कर पाए किसी तरीके से तो वो that trains you to express yourself even more and then you seek those kind of friends कि यार मुझे ऐसे दोस्त चाहिए इनके साथ मैं बात कर पाऊँ मुझे ऐसे चाहिए ही नहीं जिनको मैं बता ना पाऊँ कि क्या
Do
है.
you think that time, especially young adolescents and young adult, do you think as a man we try and find opportunities to justify our pain?
हाँ तो
As in,
इसलिए मैं उसको थोड़ा मजाक
हार्ट
भी उड़ा
ब्रेक
रहा हूँ
हुआ
उसका.
है तो मेरा दर्द जायज है. अब मैं हक से ये कर सकता हूँ और कोई उंगली नहीं उठा सकता.
Correct.
And I say that because क्योंकि इसके बाहर अगर आपके पास एक वजह नहीं है ना which is deemed worthy, you're not allowed. You don't have space. दोस्तों के साथ भी ना कितनी स्पेस होती है इसके लिए.
Like you're saying things like anger and frustration.
Devdas syndrome, because that's the only time actually I get an opportunity to be like, look, now my time of pain is here.
अब मैं ओपनली दिखा सकता हूँ
दिखा सकता हूँ हक
अब
से.
मैं-
फिल्म तो देवदास से बनती है फिल्म उस पे नहीं बनती जो शादी
Well
करके 20
adjusted
साल
है. वो well adjusted है.
you know वो हाँ
Absolutely.
करेक्ट तो वो
अरे
एक
relate-
सिंड्रोम है
Yeah.
हम सब में कि यार कहानी
syndrome.
का हीरो कौन होता है
हाँ, जो जिसका दिल
Hero
टूटा.
तो
घायल आशिक.
कबीर सिंह होता है एनिमल होता
I
है.
mean, I think one of the things that I love hearing, I'm hearing on this table and I'm really loving, is how again open you all are about the fact that rejection was faced and you've managed to find a way of dealing with it. A lot of men aren't able to. In fact, अगर आप dating की बात करें, a lot of women feel at risk because of the rejection that men are not able to deal with. And you read stories about it and they're really scary. I want to ask very specifically, when you all had rejection as men, जो face नहीं कर पाते, क्या सीख सकते हैं वो from those who have faced and overcome?
आई थिंक पहले तो ईगो आता है आपके अंदर कि ये मुझे कैसे छोड़ा. मैं तो सभी कर रहा था, मैं तो प्यार भी दिखा रहा था, मैं तो मतलब लव लेटर्स भी लिख रहा था, मैं तो फूल भी. व्हाई डिड शी लीव मी? हाउ कैन शी लीव मी? दैट्स द फर्स्ट थॉट दैट कम्स टू योर माइंड. बिकॉज अगेन आई हैड सिस्टर्स. मैंने भी उनसे बोला कि हाउ कैन, लड़की को चाहिए होता है कि प्यार दिखाओ, लड़की को चाहिए होता है फूल लेके आओ, टाइम स्पेंड. मैं तो सब कर रहा था. बोलता हाँ बट देयर मस्ट बी अ टाइम इन योर लाइफ वेयर अ गर्ल हैज कम टू यू एंड यू डिडंट लाइक हर. समटाइम्स द गर्ल डजंट लाइक यू. Sometimes you don't like the girl. You have to be okay with it. There's no reason. तू भले ही perfect बंदा हो, पर शायद तू उसके लिए perfect नहीं है. Come to terms with that, and everything will be better for you in life. I said, yeah.
It's really that simple.
Yeah, वो it's a human tendency for people to think ना कि मेरी feelings
Yeah.
are a measure
Be
of
all
truth.
and end all.
Yeah.
अगर मुझे गुस्सा आया है तो मतलब किसी और ने मुझे गुस्सा दिलाया है. और अगर किसी और ने मुझे गुस्सा दिलाया है तो ये उसकी गलती है. तो गुस्से फीलिंग्स भी बहुत हम तो नेम कर रहे हैं ना. फीलिंग का एक्चुअली नेम क्या होता है हमें पता नहीं.
My 2 cents on this and from my own experiences
Your
is that
heartbreak.
I have actually, I'll take both these things that Varun and Amol have said, where I have used the understanding of ego is the idea of self. When you actually understand who you are, like put yourself ahead. Once the absence of ego happens is when love happens. And I feel like if there's rejection in love and somebody's left you, so on and so forth, that ego comes back. Now that ego, instead of using it as pride, use it as an understanding of self again. And don't like as he said, that don't think the world revolves around you. For a second, actually think that your world revolves around you. So the person who's left is not that important. What's left behind is more important. Like think about yourself. Think about how you can love yourself
अरे,
and how you can fix the world around you, and that really helps you moving on.
So इससे मुझे याद है कि ये मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. Mostly when you know when we do a lot of self talk. Every human is doing self talk. यार मैं इस सिचुएशन से कैसे निकलूँ, क्या मैं ये करूँ, क्या मैं वो करूँ, दिमाग में voices चलती रहती हैं. And one little hack that I have discovered recently in life.
You need to take
right,
care
give
of the inner
yourself the
child.
advice that you would give your child.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. अगर वो दुख में शराब पीने जा रहा है तो आप क्या बोलोगे उसके, भाई ये नहीं करना है, अपने आप को हार्म नहीं करना है, find healthy habits, go you know
Absolutely.
make new friends, go for a walk. तो जो भी उस मोमेंट में एडवाइस आप उसको दोगे जिससे आप एक्चुअली में प्यार करते हो आउटसाइड ऑफ यू.
I think half the reaction
वही
is
चीज अपने आप
yeah,
में दो.
everybody wants a comfortable, happy life, right?
Yeah,
तो आपके जब लाइफ से वो एक पार्टनर चले जाता है, यू लाइक कल से ये नहीं रहेगा, then you start to panic, then you're like अरे नहीं, I'll do everything in my capacity to get her back, and then she's like नहीं, I don't want to be, then you're like just angry कि मेरी लाइफ बदलने वाली है, मेरी लाइफ it will not be like comfortable again. I think the moment we accept the fact that life बहुत बड़ी है और ये होते रहेगा, learn from it and then go forward in life. वो भी जा रही है, उसकी लाइफ नहीं रुक रही,
Correct.
तो तू क्यों रोके बैठा है
आखिर तक आप हो अपने साथ.
अपने साथ.
तो अपना ख्याल रखो भाई.
So with my first breakup, I mean, I know this. I'm going to really reduce it and
Only breakup.
simplify it.
Yeah.
The only breakup. The first breakup, my go-to quote was, "Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." I was 16.
It's
and
great.
17
Fair enough.
and
Whatever
I-
helps you in that
When
moment.
of course I would just amend that and say that it's okay to cry because it's
Yes.
but also smile because it happened. I think it is really that reductive quote is actually a really nice meaning of life also. I want to really just talk a little bit about dating, and I also want to talk about dating from the perspective of men. And it sometimes seems, and there's research to say that it is, and I want to acknowledge that there's a lot of young men who feel that dating is much harder for men than it is for women. At the same time, also there's not just research but enough stories to say that it is riskier for women than it is for men. Why is dating such a different experience for men and women? What is it that is modern dating really that difficult as everyone is talking about? And we've heard a little bit of the complexities of it.
Okay. My take, hot take.
Hot take, okay.
Dating for men in the modern world is hard because it's the one place where we fundamentally are powerless.
Wow.
And we live in a world where men are taught to seek power.
Yeah.
And in the dating world, we are told to cede power in dating. In marriage, you reclaim power.
Yeah.
Man of the house. For
You're right.
women,
Yeah.
like you said, it's scary. And the thing I've heard from all my women friends, who are the single ones who have also attempted the apps and who are attempt every version of what it means to find a partner in the modern age, unke liye, it is a commonly voiced frustration. And I'll tell you, hot take is I attribute this idea, is that a good man is an average woman.
Yeah, fair.
So we are performing on a level where every girl we know now basics है. मतलब ये memes बनते हैं ना कि the man at 25-year-old is having epiphanies and all. मैं अभी मतलब epiphany हो रहा है, पिछले साल मैं सब कुछ समझ रहा हूँ. लड़कियां तो 16 साल की उम्र में वो अपने slumber party में ये सारे discussions हुए हैं. This is why it's hard for women.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really well. I mean,
Very well put. very well.
good. Well said. Well said.
I will agree to the fact that it's scarier for women. I'll tell you why. Because I feel like most of the angst in relationships and dating world, so on and so forth, comes from the lack of intimacy in human experience. And I truly feel that when women feel a lack of intimacy, they get extremely sad. Men get extremely angry. So to deal with sadness is still a more safer option than to deal with anger.
yeah.
And when men deal with anger, it's
This
their
is a
lack of
detour
intimacy.
of that.
But how-
I actually,
Very
I
nice.
believe that.
Very nice insight.
But I
I
really-
believe that even in the case of men, it is just sadness. लेकिन वो sadness को express करना क्योंकि नहीं आता है, तो वो sadness
anger बन जाता है.
express-
Absolutely.
express. Anger is
Borrowed
either
emotion.
sadness or fear.
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
It's derived from that. Yeah.
It's either sadness or fear.
It's a
and
reaction.
because we live in a world as men where we don't know how to process sadness and
Yeah.
fear, we jump to this idea of ki, how do I feel again powerless? How dare I not be in control of this?
Let me ask you then, maybe in your own experience, have you done something in your relationships in the past where you look back and say that, I'm glad that I'm better than that now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Oh,
know?
100%. Without a doubt.
means-
Without a doubt. नहीं, जैसे I was saying,
इतने पत्ते नहीं खोलने
जब
नहीं, but भाई, तुम से पत्ते कौन से खोलोगे?
तुम्हारे content
ये
के लिए
सब- ये
सारे
सब
पत्ते
मैं
comment
खोलता
पे
हूँ,
खोलते हैं,
मैं
मैं तो
खोलता
content बना रहे हैं।
मैं
नहीं, but हम
खोलता हूँ।
fictional story बना के ना यार.
for the sake of this conversation, I will admit to something I've done. So very embarrassed, but again, I've admitted it. As I said, I've only been in 2 relationships, so this was after my first relationship. After my girlfriend at that time broke up with me, and she, left the country. I was in a place where I was just like, I didn't have contact, and I was just very confused. Like, she didn't share her number with me for a bit because she's also kind of going through stuff on her own. And the thing is that I kind of knew her email password. So I wanted to understand what is, even if she's not reaching out to me, maybe there is some communication that is happening with someone else about what she's feeling. So at least I can understand. And
क्या ये ख्याल आया कोई और लड़का है?
हाँ, वो तो
आया होगा, ख्याल तो आया
100%
होगा।
ही
तो वही होता है।
100% ही है, कोई और तो कोई नहीं है, of course. At the same time, I was like, is she talking about me to someone? Because am I the only one feeling this way? Maybe she's also feeling it, and because she's not reached out, I don't know. So I did break into email to figure it out, and she was not talking about me at all, which is which I
और बुरा
realized.
लगा। मेरी बात ही नहीं करी।
Yeah, मेरे को mention ही नहीं हुआ. I did not even realize at that time that this is uncool behavior, right? Like I did realize it later. And fortunately, we are really, really, in fact, I would say she's if not my closest friends today, if not the closest, one of my closest friends. I was able to speak to her and tell her this. I was able to have a conversation and say that, okay, I want to admit to something that I've done, and I think it was very uncool. I crossed a boundary, and I repent it, and that's why I want to let you know. But when you're in that place, आपको पता नहीं होता कि red flag होता क्या है.
Yeah.
और बाद में जाके समझ आता है red flag behavior क्या होता है. So I want to really, again, in the interest of honesty, have you had red flag behavior that you would like to put out?
I'll tell you my story. The first time I fell in love, that relationship ended, and she was 6 years older than I was. Madly in love again, and really thought that this is the love of my life, and so on and so forth. And I was the one who actually ended the relationship because of my behavior, and I cheated on her. And I fell in love with somebody else, and without her knowledge, and continued with that relationship for another 5-6 months while being with somebody else at the same time. And when the knowledge came out, and when I confessed to her, it ended on a very sour note. So much so that was the first experience I had of not just heartbreak, but heartbreak with the guilt of you being the reason. Like it's been close to like 13 years or so, whatever, over a decade now. Even till date, that trauma still flows on, because in the next relationship, I was being cheated on, and I told myself and stayed in the relationship because I told myself that I deserved it. It's okay, it's my fault, I did something there, this is karma coming back to me, and just stayed in that relationship.
You're saying कि maybe I deserved it, वो सब तो ठीक है, वो story है justify करने के लिए, लेकिन you realize after the first one that you're capable of causing that kind of pain to another human being.
No, my thing was more about, I'm genuinely very filmy. Like I'm actually, when I say I'm in love, I'm so much in love that the same fear that I had of what I'm going through, I didn't want my partner to feel that.
Yes.
So I was protecting her by staying in the relationship.
Yes.
It sounds like I'm putting myself on a high ground, Kina. I forgive you, but I didn't forgive her.
I feel like this is something we navigate a lot. Like, and when does it come? Like, I did things in a relationship I didn't think. I thought I was a nice guy. But it's just stuff that looking back on, again, the way of being dismissive of somebody else's perspective, somebody else's emotional concern versus a practical concern, playing the game of comparison, playing the game of justifications, playing the game of कि ये इसके comparison में ये तुलना कर रहे हो यार, क्यों हिसाब किताब, क्यों जता रहे हो कि मैंने इतनी बार, हम सब कर चुके, and वो क्यों आ रहा है, ये सवाल करना खुद से बहुत जरूरी है. इससे पहले कहाँ कुछ कुछ एक्सपीरियंस हुआ, कुछ एक फीलिंग हुई और वो ठीक से मैंने एक्सप्रेस नहीं किया, अब वो उसको मैंने अंदर दबाया.
कभी-कभी इस रिश्ते में हम उस रिश्ते की लड़ाइयाँ कर रहे होते हैं.
वो अक्सर करते हैं.
बहुत बार.
This is all
opposite roles we play कर रहे होते हैं.
opposite roles हम compensate कर रहे हैं.
You were nodding your head a lot.
So I've been in a few relationships,
अपना red flag.
and they all have left me, right? And very easy to put the blame on the girl.
They all.
They all are.
That's interesting.
You've not broken up with anybody?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
Yeah. And they all left me, and they've gone to somebody else immediately after the relationship. And I've always been like, मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है, मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है. So my last breakup that happened, I was like, मेरे साथ क्यों हुआ, मैंने सब कुछ किया, and then I sat with myself, I said, ये काफी बार हो चुका है तेरे साथ. तो शायद गलती मेरी है.
I sat myself down.
Maybe I'm the problem.
I said, maybe I'm
Doing something
like really badly. And then I recalled everything कि वो क्या बोल रहे थे मुझे जो मैं सुन नहीं पाया. That देखो starting में सब शाहरुख खान होते हैं, ठीक है, सबने पिक्चरें देखी है, सब बोलते हैं कि
Absolutely.
the chase period is great, like you're doing everything for the girl. पर शाहरुख खान की पिक्चर भी चेस पीरियड के बाद खत्म हो जाती है। हमको पता नहीं उसके बाद क्या करना होता है।
हाँ
अगेन आई सेड कि कंप्लेसेंट हो जाते हैं ना, हाँ पिक्चरों में तो इतना ही सीखा है ना, वहीं से सीखे हैं।
Yeah.
और अगर रिलेशनशिप के ऊपर पिक्चर बनती है तो वो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के बारे में
कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के बारे में बनती है, मतलब एवरी नाउ एंड देन कि यू नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग मी, क्या क्या चाहिए और कितना करूं, कर तो रहा हूं। अगेन लाइक व्हाट यू
बहुत,
सेड,
हाँ।
कर तो रहा हूं, कितना और करूं, दिस इज माय वर्जन ऑफ लव। नो, बट शी इज ओपनली टेलिंग यू व्हाट शी वांट्स।
Justification.
या what she wants as a partner, she's telling you, you're coming close to that, maybe you're not meeting that requirement, but in your head you're doing everything to make the relationship work.
जायज ना जायज,
हाँ।
तू सही मैं गलत तू
Sorry, touchy topic, just want to correct. Shahrukh Khan stands for the perpetuity of the chase.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
he in films where he speaks about the chase. And no, I'm guys,
शाहरुख के बारे में कुछ नहीं बोलेगा।
एक मिनट
I've read
के बारे में कुछ नहीं
I've read this so much on the internet about what those films really stood up for, and especially with his characters in the romantic films, is that the chase for love is lifelong.
Yeah.
It is lifelong. And as he very, very well put, that you don't have to sit down and think कि अब क्या करूं, क्योंकि सामने वाला हमेशा आपको बता
बता
रहा
रहा है,
हमेशा आपको बता रहा होता है, आप बस थक गए होते हो।
आप थक गए होते, you're right, 100%.
गए होते हो, मुझे कई बार लगता है कि इवन अ माइल्ड क्वेश्चनिंग और अ माइल्ड सजेशन फील्स लाइक अ पर्सनल अटैक।
Yeah, yeah.
क्योंकि हम ले
I'm not doing enough.
हाँ।
मैं
इतना
enough
कर तो
नहीं
रहा
क्या
हम
मैं
ले नहीं पाते। Actually, it's a person bringing to you a concern. It's being expressed in whatever way. It could be expressed as यार you never यार buy me flowers anymore. Concern is कि वो जो एक connection है which comes through gesture, which comes through effort, वो उसकी कमी महसूस हो रही है। तो never buy me flowers. What do you mean never buy me flowers?
पिछले हफ्ते लेके आया था क्या?
ये argument होता है ना कि
always तो नहीं
हम
कुछ
लोग
करना
fact हाँ so there's a it's a bid for connection. वो recognize करना कितना जरूरी है?
I want to just ask again because I felt like what you said was very deeply courageous to say कि यार हाँ मैंने I have been left by everybody and at some point I had to take accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
और ये accountability बहुत कम लड़के even बोल पाते हैं, self aware हो पाते हैं in speaking out loud कि हाँ यार मेरी ही शायद गलती थी और मुझे अपने आप का accountable hold करना पड़ेगा.
100%.
But you said also it took you a few relationships before you got there.
Yes.
How did you get there if I may ask?
तो आई थिंक मेरे साथ 3 बार हुआ था ये, और तीनों के रीजन ना और जो पैटर्न था काफी सिमिलर था। तो मैंने बोला शायद गलती मेरे में है, लेट मी जस्ट गो बैक एंड लुक एट कि मैं क्या गलती कर रहा हूँ। ऐसे मैं सुन नहीं रहा हूँ, जस्ट ओपनिंग अप योर ईयर्स एंड लाइक लिसनिंग इज व्हाट आई लर्नड कि मुझे करना चाहिए। एंड कभी कभी इफ शी इज एक्सप्रेसिंग समथिंग तो मे बी शी इज जस्ट एक्सप्रेसिंग समथिंग, वो अटैक नहीं कर रही है, सुन लो। आई थिंक एज मैन, because women do go through more emotions than us, and they have the vocabulary. So they will tell you what exactly they're going through. हमको समझ नहीं आ रहा है, हमारे पास वो वर्ड्स है ही नहीं जो वो बोल रहे हैं। I'm saying just समझ नहीं आ रहा है तो समझने की एक्टिंग ही कर लो ताकि उनको लगे कि ठीक है I'm being heard. Yeah.
That's a great solution.
Yeah.
उस वक्त कर लो।
उस वक्त कर लो, देन उसके बाद जाके पूछ कि बेबी तुमने जो बोला था वो एक बार वो वर्ड समझा दो, मुझे समझ नहीं आया एग्जैक्टली क्या।
I love कि हाँ पहले एक्टिंग करो बाद में आके समझ
लो। हाँ
Correct,
हाँ, वो
fair
बहुत
enough.
जरूरी
Yeah,
है।
yeah. खुद से ही समझ आया ये सब कुछ।
नहीं, आई थिंक मेरे दोस्तों ने बहुत मजाक बनाया मेरा कि तेरे को तो हर कोई छोड़ के चले जाता है, तेरे को गलती तो तेरे में होगी ना।
शेमिंग से कहीं ना
कहीं
फायदा
फायदा हो ही जाता है।
शिट यार तू तो सही बोल रहा है।
मैं उल्टा बोलूंगा, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं सीख लेता हूँ दूसरों की गलतियों से।
हाँ
मैं भी
तो सुनना भी एक वही ना सबसे जो इम्पोर्टेंट बात आई थिंक हम लोग जो कह भी रहे हैं in many ways is that we have to be able to hear either ourselves, or hear our friends, or hear our female friends.
First, we have to respect those people, right? Many a times I see a lot of content, as this word is used on the internet, चाहे वो podcast content हो, चाहे वो reels हो, चाहे वो stand up कर रहा हो कोई, a lot of times there is alienation of the other gender, right? Some guy is talking about or performing about how girls are like this and girls are like that and girls are like this. Or generalized content which is very primal and it works because you're appealing to those emotions of the audience कि हाँ उसको भी कोई याद आया कि किसी लड़की ने दुख दिया था, हाँ चलो हंसते हैं उसके ऊपर, ठीक है। तो and vice versa. Sometimes I see women creators saying oh boys are like this, boys are like that. एक तो ये सच है नहीं, सारे boys एक है नहीं। I'm saying for women यहाँ पे जो शायद if there are 10 women they're not all the same. So how can a whole gender be the same or behave in a certain way? तो ये मुझे लगता है कि ये लोगों को दूर करता है because then it maybe if you're young, if I was 20 maybe वो रील देख के मुझे लगता है हाँ यार लड़कियां ऐसी ही होती हैं and then I will just go around looking for behavior that will conform with that bias कि देखा लड़कियां ऐसी ही होती हैं, देखा उसने मुझे छोड़ दिया because I'm a nice guy. Girls like not
Bad
nice
boys,
guy.
हाँ.
They like bad guy. या उसने मुझे छोड़ दिया. Oh, because he has a bigger car. No, maybe he's a nicer person.
Yeah.
Right, but you are looking to confirm the biases that you are hearing and you are forming. In
I
your
think
own
blaming yourself is one of the most brave things that you can do in your life.
तो वो
खुद पे
अपनी
गलती लो और solve
responsibility
करो.
लेना. भाई इसमें हो सकता है मेरी responsibility हो सकता है उसकी भी. But everybody is learning, everybody is evolving. And if you genuinely were in a relationship with a snake, as they say, कि सांप था मेरा ex और सांप थी मेरी ex, तो भाई तो तुम तो फिर हो ना तुम.
हाँ.
क्या कर रहे थे सांप के साथ 5 साल? राइट, तो तुम्हारी इंटेलिजेंस क्वेश्चन में आ गई ना यार.
Such a shit joke.
Just because that person is not with you anymore, अभी वो सांप हो गया या सांप हो गई. I have no way to prove it. But the harder way is to deal with those emotions, to try and see what I can do productively with those emotions and not lash out on other people. Try and see how I can use those emotions to better myself.
Yeah.
Try and see. Maybe वो immediately नहीं आएगा. Maybe 6 महीने बाद 1 साल बाद आएगा कि यार हाँ मैंने भी कुछ गलतियाँ की थी. So you don't at least make the same mistakes. Make new mistakes.
No, absolutely. And because you've said that, of course, not every generalization is true. At the same time, there are patterns that we see, right? And, you know, we're also talking a little bit about those patterns which are gendered in many ways. If you can all give me like just one example of a pattern that you've seen men doing that you disagree with and you feel like यार ये हमको शायद नहीं करना चाहिए, and this is something that you've learned better from your own relationships. And if there's a pattern that you actually, when you flip it, you've seen women doing.
I think women should appreciate small wins, and men should not think that those small wins are achievements.
Wow.
क्या बात?
Interesting.
Give me
दोनों को
like-
दे दिया.
Explain थोड़ा detail.
I think जैसे अगर एक लड़के को बोला कि ये करना है, उसने वो चीज करी, उसको लग रहा है वो जीत गया. मैं विनर बन चुका हूँ.
मैं फूल लेके आया.
हाँ, मैं 3 फूल लेके आया.
This is that thing of where we celebrate in our industry actors who come on time.
Yeah, हाँ.
Thinking that क्या बात है, मतलब ये
ये तो
तो
नॉर्मल है.
समय पे आना तो मतलब सेलिब्रेट करने वाली चीज होती है.
ये तो लाइन याद करके आया.
हाँ, वो वाली बातें हैं ना.
अरे तुम तो लाइनें याद करते हो.
लाइन याद करते हो, बाप रे.
But and for women also, I'm saying उसको glorify मत करो पर बोलो good job. I recognize that you're changing for me.
Recognize is a beautiful word.
But glorify, just tell me a little bit more about what is glorification.
I'm saying like let's suppose a girl wants XYZ things from you and you do that for her. You shouldn't be like अच्छा मैंने कर लिया ना अब मेरा हो गया मैं जीत गया. I'm saying it should be a regular thing that the girl wants from you. So continue to work towards it. Continue to make it more natural in your own way. And for women, I just want them to tell the man that, we recognize that you're doing this. Thank you so much.
I mean, my long-term relationship has been marriage, right? And in marriage also, you realize that it's not that modern dating is complex and marriages are easy. Of course, they're also really difficult because at every stage, you start realizing that both of you keep evolving as people. And at every stage, you have to, in many ways, continue finding things to fall in love with in the person who's evolving in front of you.
Yeah.
Because that person may not necessarily be the same person that you met 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I'm not talking about toxicity. I'm just talking about evolution, because of course certain patterns are toxic and then you should also be able to talk about that. But when you're talking about genuine growth, I love that they're finding new things about themselves. And I, as someone who's committed to them, also find something to love in that, and that is that, as you said, that takes constant effort.
Yeah.
But I
It
really
sounds
love that.
like it. I love what you're saying. It sounds like that to be curious about who is this person in front of me,
Correct.
not who is the story or what is the story in my head that I've told myself about the person who's sitting in front of me.
Abhi your question answers
sorry.
se Varun ne diya, so I'm also going to ask the same thing. What is the pattern that you've seen among women and men?
Only from my experience,
Yes.
I would like to say something that I've told myself also, that men should start accepting that change is a constant, and women should start accepting that constance is important.
And I feel like, एक बारी आपका relationship evolve हो जाता है, and that is maybe where love also
Really
comes in,
evolves.
right? Yeah, when you're able to, as you said, I think sit in stillness with someone you love. When you're able to really not have to do things.
Have a marker.
Yeah, to do things to prove that there is love.
I love that
Yeah,
idea.
when love is just understood, and of course this is not to say that you shouldn't have those small gestures, and sometimes the gestures just can be really small.
Yeah.
Like Daisy does this sometimes, which I find really sweet, and like when I have something big that is happening in my life, or and I might be psyching myself up for it, मुझे शायद realize भी ना हो, she will just give me a small card, you know, handwritten. खुद बनाती है, कभी cards खुद बनाती है, खुद बनाकर फिर खुद लिखेगी, and she'll just say that, you know, best of luck. And it's just really, it's a best of luck. It's like, I love you, best of luck. But that just sometimes the effort of that gesture itself is like so important and so meaningful. Yeah, there is.
कोई support कर
Yeah, I get this someone, you know, who sees you. You know, and I find that
This
really
is the
lovely.
most powerful.
Yeah.
Somebody who sees you. To be witnessed is one of the
Yeah,
most
to be-
beautiful
yeah,
things.
to be witnessed.
Not to be fixed. Not to be guided.
Gently led.
तुमने नहीं बताया अभी तक.
No, I will avoid saying men and women. I'd say maybe one thing that people tend to do is मुझे ये भी समझ में आया कि many patterns people fall into because they are learning about love from Instagram. If let's say I just cut all the fluff and
Yeah.
bring it down to the basics कि
Yeah.
तुझे as a boy लड़की से प्यार चाहिए, right? या तुझे relationship चाहिए, या तुझे एक बढ़िया मैजिकल सेक्सुअल रिलेशनशिप चाहिए, जो भी चाहिए, तू लड़की से ही नहीं सुन रहा है कि उसको क्या चाहिए, तू सुन रहा है लड़कों से. Right? जब लड़कियां बहुत सारी क्लियरली बता पा रही हैं कि यार हमसे ऐसे बात करो, हमसे वैसे बात करो, तो सुन लो ना कि when I scroll my algorithm, I see women all telling me constantly what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah.
जिनसे आपको प्यार चाहिए उनकी नहीं सुन रहे हो कि कैसे चाहिए और क्यों चाहिए.
I mean, if you want to understand what men feel, listen to the men, which is what the other pattern is. I feel like a lot of, unfortunately, even that understanding of men comes, you know, from what we have, not from actually listening to men, but like an understanding of societal understanding of what men are. Because so much of what everyone is speaking about is how there is no intentions when it comes to dating. Like I feel like everybody's confused all the time about what they're looking for, and which is actually why I admire something like you know, when I talk about dating apps, when I admire something like Bumble, where there is a very clear understanding of what are you looking for. You know, which again we didn't have. Like when I was growing up, there was never a first conversation कि क्या आप आपको चाह रहे हो, आपकी expectation क्या है, वो मतलब you found along the way. But here there are people who are without judgment can say things like, okay, I'm looking for casual, can say things like I'm looking for long-term relationship, etc., etc. Do you think that this intentionality has made dating easier, where people are very clear at the very beginning about what they're looking for?
I think it sounds definitely better than not having it. Right? कि बिल्कुल ही
I
absolute
think our overall,
silence से शुरू
yeah,
हुआ.
I think we're deepening our concept of consent. It's really about that. It's about how much more are you able to volunteer in terms of what is consensual. Like that's where we're at, and I think that's a real healthy marker. Casual है ठीक है, label पे मत छोड़ो. Casual, you're seeking something casual. Okay, where are you at? What makes you? For you being honest with me is very important. If that's gonna help. तो ये आप negotiate कर रहे हो, आप terms of agreement बना रहे हो, consent की बात है, आप तय कर रहे हो. This is very cool because we're doing this as a generation in a way that I think we're self-informed, as against where these are not values, these are not discussions that we have templates for from our parents' generations, right? We don't have it, so we're charting the territory.
I've had friends where they're like, नहीं, dating वेटिंग नहीं करनी. ऐसे खोल के तो देखो दिमाग, शायद अच्छी लग जाए, शायद अच्छी लड़की है. And they have been single for, like, I have a friend who's been single for 10 years. And if he's watching this, I'm sure he will. That if he just opens up with the idea that he might have missed on so many great women
सुन ले भाई.
because he was like restricted in his idea of कि नहीं यार मुझे एक बार प्यार हुआ था और मुझे प्यार नहीं होगा, मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ. You miss out on so many things when you constrain yourself. If you,
That poor guy is saying TV पे क्यों बोला? हमने बोला. But in my experience, I feel like romance, just sticking to the idea of whether it's boring or whether it's romantic, it is completely different with every individual. Even no matter what intention you've set in the beginning of the thing, you know, like I have experienced where both of us consensually have decided that it's going to be casual. It had remained casual. It ended on a casual note, but it was hyperly romantic for those 6-7 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very romantic. And that romance इतना ज़्यादा enjoy करने लगे थे, खुद ही बोल दिए कि अब इसके बाद थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, तो यहाँ रोक देते, यहाँ छोड़ देते.
That's also communication. No?
Yes, fundamentally वही है.
Before one person ends up going in a state where the other person hasn't followed,
Correct.
Yeah.
then conflict will happen.
हाँ, all of these factors are very true. Like कभी-कभी एक इंसान थोड़ा लाइन क्रॉस करके फिर उसका दिल टूट जाता है, कभी-कभी कोई पीछे छूट जाता है, कभी-कभी साथ में चल रहे होते हैं. बट आई फील लाइक जो भी आप इंटेंशन सामने रखिए, जो भी होगा, आपका एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द रिलेशनशिप इज अबाउट दैट पर्सन एंड यू एंड नथिंग एल्स.
Right.
But that's
So
also
वो-
not having
but
an
you
expectation,
let
but-
yourself flow with it also.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
and
what
which was difficult. I'm not saying every day was easy. Every time it's like, अरे यार यहाँ से तुम ये तो सोचा ही नहीं था, यहाँ कहाँ आ गए?
यहाँ कहाँ आ गए, हाँ.
But at least a sense of togetherness in that कि ठीक है जहाँ भी हैं साथ में हैं, let's figure it out, let's
Yeah.
figure it out, let's figure it out. अब यहाँ से अगले कमरे में जाना है कि नहीं, अगले कमरे में
हाँ,
जाना
that
है कि नहीं,
constant
अगले कमरे में
communication
जाना है कि
should
नहीं.
be there.
Eventually, sometimes कुछ इधर-उधर चले जाएंगे thoughts,
Yeah.
आपका आइडिया बदल जाएगा लाइफ का, कुछ हो जाएगा, like you said, people change, grow. But just trust that the other person is a good person.
Two things that I'm hearing. One thing that I would say that what I'm hearing is communication is romantic.
Most
I think that is actually, even
Most
if you want to talk about it, not romantic from a love perspective, but just romantic as a notion. Like let's communicate more. I think
word
it's
use हो जाता है extreme emotions के लिए.
yeah.
Right, the whirlwind is
Yeah.
romance. The stability is not romance. Is usually
Absolutely.
the connotation.
Sorry, I was just saying that since all of you are single and I'm the only married one on the table, for me, I know that romance is that stability, right?
Yeah.
That you were dating as, basically teenagers, and you decided that this is the vision you have for yourself and you reached that vision. You wanted to someday have like a home of your own, a child of your own, and, like support each other in growth, and you've got that. That is romance. The fact that you get to go on this journey together is inherently romantic. So I really, I mean, I do truly feel that was the one thing that I was hearing. The second thing that you also said, I want to specify that, it's while everybody may be a decent person at the core of them, in dating is inherently, unfortunately, risky for a lot of women. I would love again to hear from you all, since you are all, I would imagine, men who don't partake in behavior like this. What is your understanding of why men do this behavior sometimes?
I'll go out on a limb and say कि शायद ऐसा possible है that people will say कि अरे आके बैठा है यहाँ पे ज्ञान दे रहा है, बड़े man की बातें हो रही है. But I am sure there is a woman out there, if not more than one, who may not have had the best experience with me.
Correct.
Right? And why? It's not an excuse. It's just that in my head, maybe I was making a move and we were not on the same page. Right? I thought that we were on the same page कि कुछ हो रहा है. होता ना कि अरे कुछ वाइब आ रही. और मुझे बाद में जाकर रियलाइज हुआ कि वाइब मुझे ही आ रही थी. वो उसको नहीं आ रही थी. वो भी वैलिड है. मेरी फीलिंग्स भी वैलिड है, उसकी फीलिंग्स भी वैलिड है. Let's take a step back. Let's try and understand what I could have done better. Right? What was my mistake? And even if I don't feel like I've done anything wrong, apologize. Because उसको तो बुरा लग गया है. And उसके बाद से तो मतलब और हो गया ना कि I've rather erred on the side of assuming कि कोई vibe नहीं है.
So amazing that you said this out loud, because this is the quiet part. This is the stuff that all of us maybe feel and think, but don't really say out loud, because this is an explicit consent or explicit, awareness also, an acknowledgement of knowing that sometimes even if, you may have a different idea and the other person may have a different idea, you have been in the wrong and you're okay with recognizing that about yourself and doing better.
And thankfully, I also give credit to what people you choose to have around you, because people around you are your moral centers. And I believe, I mean, people may question me on that women have a stronger sense of morality than men do. मतलब, at least I can speak for myself कि थोड़ा सा fluid सी morality है. Women, if they have, they have a very strong sense of morality and empathy and what should be and what shouldn't be and what is right and wrong.
Do you have a POV on this? What we've been talking about?
देखो मेरी बहुत सिंपल लॉजिक है. डायरेक्ट लाइन होती है. लाइन की इस तरफ तुम क्रीप हो, लाइन की इस तरफ तुम फट्टू हो. तो मैं फट्टू रहना चाहूंगा.
मैं भी
वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, यार और on this side.
मैं जिंदगी भर फट्टू रहूं. अगर तू मुझे लिख के ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट में नहीं दे रही हो that this is what you want. Again, when you're in a relationship, then things are different, because then you just understand things better. But when you're just in that scene of figuring out each other, मैं फट्टू हूँ बॉस. Because I've always felt like मेरी दो बहनें हैं, and अगर उनके साथ कभी ऐसा हुआ तो मेरा दिल टूट जाएगा. So I've always thought of that कि नहीं मैं फट्टू ही ठीक हूँ. तू भले मुझे बोल कि ये एक चोमू सा बंदा आया था, कुछ नहीं करके गया. हाँ, नहीं करके गया. मैं फट्टू.
Wow, like really, I mean, again, and I said, as you said, I think
we're all
the
like
bare
this.
minimum, but still.
मैं तो I will err on that side. नहीं फट्टू
rather
मैं
on
नहीं
that side, yeah,
वही तो सर मैं बोला लाइन मैं क्रॉस करके नहीं पता करूंगा कि लाइन किधर है. नहीं
लाइन के बहुत उस तरफ हूँ
Consent
मैं।
is romantic. यार. This is also intentional. No? What you've been talking about, intentional is this only. when
मतलब
you
आपको लग रहा है कि
actually
हाँ हिंट दे रही नहीं दे रही भाई, जब तक वो बोलेगी नहीं तब तक तो वो हिंट नहीं दे रही है।
अब मुझे लगता है लाइन किस तरफ क्रीपी है, किस तरफ फट्टू है। लाइन होता है सवाल, सवाल पूछ लो यार,
वाह.
सवाल पूछने की देरी है। You don't have to wait for her to respond. Just ask, na. Is it okay if I make a move? Is it okay if I kiss you? Ask.
दिस हैज वर्कड फर्स्ट टाइम ऑकवर्ड लगेगा,
आगे बढ़ो।
बाद में बिल्कुल नहीं लगेगा।
necessary because there is you don't know
fair
know
enough.
like you know, and again this is where I would credit an app like Bumble purely because I know that, and again I've sat with the folks over here to hear before we went to do this table. There is a feature where you are verifying profiles, so you do
Aadhaar card.
yeah, that is one of the offerings of it. But the reason I was coming to that was also the fact that they have this inherent verification where they will ensure that the men on the platform are saying exactly who they are.
Yeah.
It's not there is no doubt, and a lot of other
Catfishing वाला
yeah,
problem.
catfishing is not an issue.
मेरे साथ कैटफिश हुआ है
अच्छा बताओ.
फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन में हम सब लोग और अपनी खुजरी में गेटिंग एक्साइटेड कि कुछ मैच हुआ ये हुआ एंड अति सुंदर कोई, और फिर धीरे धीरे फिर शक होने लगा, फिर कुछ एंड देन एज द कॉन्वर्सेशन मूव्ड एंड ऑन एंड देन बट स्लोली फिगर्ड आउट, गूगल रिवर्स इमेज सर्च किया गया, पता चला कि ये कुछ फ्रॉड स्पैम वाले फोटो लीक्स, किसी के फोटो एल्बम या पर्सनल व्हाटएवर गॉट लीक्ड एंड गॉट स्प्रेड एंड ऑल, तो वो pretty quickly kind of managed to, but I'm saying is that also had that experience.
But I think for women in general, it's a lot safer if they know कि अच्छा ये बंदा verified है. If anything goes wrong,
Yeah.
then the people know where to find this particular person, hold him responsible for it. I think that's a great feature to have in an app.
And the reason that I was actually bringing that up is because verification is a really, really important and positive step. But I want to end by asking the most hopeful thing that you have done on a dating app or that's been done for you. The most hopeful thing.
If somebody just took interest in my interest, that would be great. Rather than them wanting for me to only ask about them. अगर कोई मेरे बारे में पूछता तो मुझे अच्छा लगता.
यार तुम बहुत प्यारे आदमी हो.
मैं हूँ.
Most hopeful thing.
Hopeful thing.
I don't know. I still will go back to the gesture of somebody buying me flowers. I just can't get over it because I feel like for anybody to put in that thought, but for that to happen to me just suddenly made me feel like I can go back to being that kid in love or the kid who believed in a certain kind of romance and love. And that moment really triggered something back in me. So yeah, that brought back the hope for love in relationships for me.
What was about these flowers? Is there something very specific?
नहीं.
Like just
जिंदगी में
were they
पहली
daisies?
बार
कौन से?
they were
Daisies for you.
sunflowers. They were sunflowers.
Sunflowers.
They were sunflowers. It's not like I was hoping, I was waiting for one day, जिस दिन कोई लड़की मुझे फूल देगी वही that she'll be the one. ऐसा भी नहीं. When it happened, I realized कि damn, that really felt really nice. I know it sounds very minuscule, but that feeling was really grand. It really was. What happened within?
It could also just be about that person then,
I think so.
right? So जैसा कि वो बोल रहे हैं ना कि it's not about the flowers, it's about that.
It
The
is.
gesture,
It is
the
about
moment,
person.
the
That's true.
expression, the
It all coming.
से मैं लेके आता तो शायद उतनी वो फीलिंग नहीं आती.
मुझे नहीं लगता. मुझे नहीं लगता.
Same self-love, same
मैं
size,
इसके बाद-
same smell.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
क्योंकि हाँ अच्छा तुमने clarify कर दिया because after this I was going to send him flowers and I wanted to.
I would say
नहीं, he'll like
For the
them,
next-
but maybe
yeah, for
not
the
as
next
much
round
as
table.
the other
The
ones.
most important thing we take away from this round table is that men only want one thing.
which is flowers.
From that one person.
From that one
But I think
person.
it is the culmination of all of
All
that.
of-
Of
yeah,
the
yeah.
right person, the right moment, the right thing to happen, and something rare to happen all together just made me feel like I was 12 again.
Why were you 12?
Just watching a romantic film and feeling mushy कि एक दिन मैं भी प्यार करूंगा और मैं भी शादी करूंगा, and that came back.
शादी की बात भी आ गई भाई.
हाँ.
मतलब I love that. I must
feeling.
say I must
Fill up
say
the comment section to know more.
I must say it is adorable to see you like this. I've known you for a while and I've never seen you this happy. So touch wood, and I really hope. I mean, she's a lucky person, and I know
So
that.
am I,
Are you.
so am I, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and I really hope that you always have many more flowers in your life. And
क्या बात.
many more
From
more
the same
days.
person.
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
same person. Many more days of flowers.
Yeah.
So what a beautiful. How will you top that, Zahan? इतना
मैं नहीं करता, खेलो खेलते रहो.
a hopeful thing that I have seen, and of course, this is it culminated in marriage. There's actually one of one of the one of the first members of Yuva, who was our business head at that time, and a very dear friend, Yash. He's like, he went on Bumble, and he was like just intentionally, constantly looking for someone who he could match with and someone he could build a connection with. Within like 3 months, you know, he went on a few dates. 3 months, he found that one person, and 8 to 10 months later, they were married.
Wow.
And they are like in a really touchwood happy relationship with each other, and I see them every day, man. And it's just for me, like, when you keep hearing about, because I keep hearing about the paralysis of choice, I hear about the anxiety of apps, and on the other hand, I've also seen this really hopeful thing that has come out of it, which is as someone who actually went knowing that I'm looking for a long-term commitment in marriage and found it, you know. I
There are
asked
lots
him-
of stories of
Yeah.
people having found, at least having gotten married.
Yeah.
I see a lot of young couples, or I hear about them, or I read about them on the internet. For me, I think, again, it is not, maybe I can't immediately know one instance or moment or gesture comes to mind. I think for me, it has been a little bit of a slow unraveling of a certain sorts कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है, right? This is also a way to be, right? So because you have a couple of experiences, and if you if you don't take away great things, I mean, just to simplify my own language, वो एक दो रिलेशनशिप क्या लगता है यार, मैं ना इसके लिए बना ही नहीं हूँ. आपने रॉन्ग आइडियाज जो शायद बना लिए थे, रॉन्ग और इनएक्यूरेट, आई वुडंट से रॉन्ग, देयर इज नो राइट एंड रॉन्ग, इनएक्यूरेट आइडियाज जो बना लिए थे, आपको लगा कि नहीं यार, ओके, देन but I also say that is a matter of luck, right? And that is also a matter of timing, that is a matter of luck, that you probably meet somebody at a certain point in your life who is also at a certain point of their lives, and you seem to have similar ideas around the same things, whether even it is a lack of ideas around the same things.
Yeah.
ये जो है अब हमारे बीच में, and हम लोग डिफाइन करेंगे कि यार इसको हम क्या बनाना चाहते हैं.
But what I'm hearing and what I'm loving is the fact that, at least for the two of you, like, Hope has been like finding someone that you really connect with.
You
know?
connect with,
Which is just such a
and-
beautiful thing to, because again, it's the same for me, right? Like, as someone who's also not been on apps, but what I did get instead was a partner, and it came out of friendship, and it came out of
Kya
like,
baat.
I mean, again, someone just I really gelled with, someone I really connected with. And, that's what happens sometimes, connections can lead to like a long-term commitment, long-term romance.
Yeah.
Tumhara hope.
I think the shift for me personally, and the hopeful shift, is that I genuinely, over the last year especially, I have through apps, I have met people and I've shared an evening. I've gone and visited things, especially in other cities. I have found to be actually most beneficial. So when you're traveling, and I am content with the idea of just meeting someone new and sharing some time in a consensual way. It's a wonderful way to possibly meet someone, and if there's a little bit of flirtation, even better.
How sweet. I love that. This has been an amazing conversation. I would really want to thank you all for being so open-hearted and open about everything that you've felt, and and I mean, I feel seen after, and I feel heard after hearing you all. Got some very interesting insights into the minds of you all today. I really want to, again, I just want to appreciate the openness with which everyone over here has spoken. इतना आसान नहीं होता कुछ ऐसी बातें करना, इतना और काफ़ी लोग तो ज़रूरी भी नहीं समझते. उनको लगता है कि ये बातें क्यों ही करनी है, ये तो हम लोग अगर करनी है तो अपने प्राइवेटली कर रहे हैं. बट द फैक्ट दैट द मेन ऑन दिस टेबल हु अग्रीड एंड वांटेड टू share this publicly, I think it's really, it's amazing. I think it's also fresh, and I think it should happen more. So I really hope that this is the first of many roundtables that not only we do, but all of us end up doing.
एक राउंड टेबल तो मेरे घर पे ही है,
एक तो तुम्हारे घर पे
जिस
होती
पे
है,
तुम बैठ चुके हो,
जिस पे बैठ चुका हूँ
3 बजे तक सुबह.
3 बजे तक, and if you know Amol, there is a good chance that you end up at his house at some time where you start at 8 o'clock and then till 3 you're just talking.
क्या बात है, उसमें
So-
कैमरास भी नहीं है.
हाँ, उसमें कैमरा भी है, तो बड़ी मजा आता है. But thank you so much for your time and your lovely, tender, graceful, gracious, generous energies. And I wish and hope that there are more men like you all on this table.
That's so
Oh,
sweet.
lovely. So
Thank you.
sweet,
That's
yeah.
very generous. I mean,
Thank you for having tables like these जहाँ पे आके लोग
हाँ, हम आ सकते हैं.
आ सकते हैं और ऐसी ही बातें कर सकते हैं.
तो आई थिंक आज एक बात तो समझ आ गई, कुछ होता है वाला प्यार चाहे पुराना हो जाए, प्यार कभी पुराना नहीं होता. Dating rules, etiquettes, and norms may change and evolve, but romance is forever. Thank you, Bumble, for making this a hopeful conversation on Men in Pyar happen with us at Yuva today. And I must say, what I really love about Bumble is that whether or not you are looking for Pyar, as long as you're intentionally dating, Bumble makes your life much, much easier. But as someone who's been in Pyar for a long time, if you don't know what you're looking for, I can promise you, Pyar is pretty awesome.